Hi, I'm Matt from Black Box Mind, and in this, the fourth video in the mini-series on the principles of multimedia learning, we're taking a closer look at the spatial contiguity principle. Here's a scenario. I've got an on-screen graphic that I want to show, and this is going to be explaining the different parts of a guitar. Option 1 is to number the different parts of the guitar, then assign labels to the numbers on the other side of the screen. Seems good and relatively neat. Option 2 is to keep the labels over to the side, then draw lines to each of the guitar's components. My idea with this is to guide the learner's eye from one side of the screen to the correct point on the instrument, on the other side. My third option is to move the graphic into the middle of the screen, like this, then place the labels close to the relevant part of the guitar. So, which option would you choose for labeling the guitar? Option 1, assigning numbers to the different parts of the guitar and then having your list of labels and assigning the numbers to the labels. Or option 2, having your list of labels again, but then instead drawing lines to the relevant parts of the guitar. Or option 3, where you move the labels close to the relevant part of the guitar. Well, this is where the spatial contiguity principle really comes into play. And this principle states that people learn more deeply from a multimedia message when corresponding printed words and graphics are presented near rather than far from each other on the page or screen. The idea is that when the label is close to the relevant part of the graphic, it makes it easier for the learner to make the connection between the two. Out of the 22 times that this experiment was run, every single time that students were presented with materials that followed the spatial contiguity principle, they performed better on their learning tests. Now, I understand that this may seem like a very small thing to think about, but when we're talking about the deep learning of new information, this deciphering of information can use up a lot of cognitive resources. So the simple task of identifying the relevant label, reading it, holding that information in your limited working memory, then applying that to a graphic placed far from that information is unnecessary effort, even if it is just on the opposite side of the screen or page. With all of this in mind, option 3, placing the labels close to the relevant part of the instrument, would be the one to go for. The text is close enough to the relevant part of the graphic. And this makes it really easy for whoever's watching to see exactly what each part of the guitar is called. And there you have it, the spatial contiguity principle. The next video is the final video in the first set of principles on reducing extraneous processing. And that principle is the temporal contiguity principle. So, as always, there's more information in the description box down below, and why not like the video and consider subscribing to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.